The day the town forgot its name began with a thick, quiet fog. It wrapped around houses, trees, and the little river, muting the world in gentle white. People woke to a morning that felt almost normal. Birds sang, coffee brewed, but something was missing. Mr. Gable, the postman, noticed first. The sign above the post office was blank, its letters vanished. He tried to say the town's name, but nothing came out, just a hollow space in his memory. Soon, others saw it too. Mrs. Plum's flour sacks bore only smudges, children's homework had blank lines, and the mayor's official seal was just an empty circle. A quiet worry spread, thick as the fog. People gathered in the square, searching each other's faces for answers. They tried to speak the name, but the word was gone, erased from their minds. Blank signs, empty letterheads, nameless maps. Everywhere the town's identity had vanished. The fog lifted, but confusion lingered. The town, their home, had lost its name, and not a single soul could remember what it was. The silence was heavy, as if the town itself was holding its breath. People looked at each other, hoping someone would remember, but all they found was uncertainty. The place that held their stories and memories was suddenly nameless. The day moved on, but the emptiness remained. The town's story had lost its title, and everyone felt the loss. Without a name, the town felt lost, drifting like a boat without a rudder. At the general store, people paused at the line for the town's name, pens hovering, memories blank. The librarian, Miss Evelyn, spread out old maps. Each one showed only a blank where their home should be. History books held no mention of them. It was as if the town had been erased. The mayor called a meeting. Holding up a blank letterhead, he said quietly, "Our name, it's gone." The crowd murmured, the truth settling in. They tried to remember, but their minds were as empty as the signs. Even children felt it, drawing clouds or suns instead of a name on their pictures. The town felt like a person who had forgotten their own story. Still the same place, same faces, but missing a piece of its heart. They were a community living in a place with no name, sharing the weight of that emptiness. The loss was everywhere, and everyone felt it. In this confusion lived Lira, a quiet girl who noticed things others missed. While others searched for the name on signs and maps, Lira looked for the story behind the forgetting. She wondered if the name was hidden, not lost. Lira wandered the oldest streets, studying carvings and faded paint, sensing the answer was in the town itself. She believed a town story was more than its name. It was in the way people cared for each other. Lira asked gentle questions. Her grandmother only smiled sadly. The old clockmaker shook his head. She was patient, knowing some answers are shy. One afternoon, helping her grandmother in the attic, Lira found a small, leather-bound journal in a dusty trunk. The handwriting was old, unfamiliar. Excitement fluttered in her chest. Maybe this book held the secret. Lira felt she was close to the truth. Lira sat in the attic, the old journal in her lap. The diary belonged to a woman from long ago, describing life in a town called Havenwood. As Lira read, the story darkened. Armies marched, and the people of Havenwood feared for their peaceful home. The elders devised a desperate plan to erase their town's name from every map, sign, and memory, making it invisible to invaders. They performed a ritual under a full moon, whispering Havenwood one last time, letting it go to protect their children. The final entry read, "We have given up our name so we may keep everything else. We will be a town of no name, but we will be a town of peace." Lira closed the journal, realizing the town hadn't forgotten its name. It had given it away. The blank signs were not a curse, but a shield. The sacrifice was made out of love. Lira's heart pounded with understanding. The town's story was one of protection, not loss. The secret had been hidden, waiting to be found. Lira knew what she had to do. The journal unlocked a memory for Lira, her grandmother's whispered story by the fire. It was about a time of great shadow, when the town chose peace over pride. On a night of a full moon, everyone gathered in the woods, holding hands, whispering the town's name into the wind. They promised to forget, so no one could bring harm to their home. Lira had once asked, "Didn't they miss their name?" Her grandmother replied, "They missed it, yes, but they kept what mattered most. A name is just a word, but a safe, loving home is everything." The memory faded, leaving Lira in the quiet attic, finally understanding. The forgotten name was a shield, a testament to love and sacrifice. The town's true story was one of courage and care. Lira felt ready to share what she'd learned. Lira brought the journal to her grandmother, who sat watching the sunset. They sat together in silence, full of understanding. Lira said softly, "I know why we forgot." Her grandmother smiled gently, placing her hand over Lira's. "Our memories aren't lost, just sleeping," she said. "We gave up our name, Havenwood, to protect what truly matters. Stories, kindness, and love, those are the real name of the town." Lira finally understood the sadness in the elder's eyes. It was the memory of sacrifice. "Why didn't anyone tell us?" Lira asked. "The forgetting had to be real to keep us safe," her grandmother explained. "We trusted the story would return when the time was right. And it has. It found you." Lira looked at the glowing houses and saw not a lost town, but one fiercely protected. "So we don't have a name now," Lira said. Her grandmother nodded. "A name is a beginning. Maybe it's time for a new story." The past had been honored. The future was waiting. Lira felt hope blooming in her heart. The town was ready for a new chapter. The next day, Lira stood in the square, journal in hand, ready to share the truth. She told the town about Havenwood, the sacrifice, and the love that protected them. The crowd listened, remembering a part of themselves they never knew. There was sadness, but also pride. They were descendants of people who chose peace. The mayor spoke. "Our ancestors gave up their name for us. Now it's our turn to honor them." Lira suggested, "Maybe it's time for a new name, a name that tells our story." Excitement spread. People suggested names: Resilience, Storywood, Hope. They were no longer adrift, but united. In the end, they chose Remembrance, a name honoring the past and embracing the future. The next day, everyone painted the new name on signs. Lira, with her grandmother, painted the first letter in the square. A name can be forgotten or given away, but the story and love of a place endure. The town had a new name and a new beginning. Their story would never be lost again. Together, they had found their way home.